yesterday I was looking at my phone and the ads, I couldn't, it was difficult for me to actually distinguish between the actual ads and the organic results. I think anybody entering the gambling space just now trying to compete online is at a natural disadvantage.
What are the sort of brutal realities that people maybe don't want to hear about?
It's a tough sell. It's difficult to sell SEO because essentially saying to them, give us a bunch of money, it's going to take 2 years or a year and a half before you actually see any real traction. So one of the things that you need as a brand these days, or even as an affiliate, you need to be seen as a brand.
Have you ever seen a site tank because of bad links?
Yeah, my site tanked because of bad links. Like a lot of SEOs go after metrics blindly, but the first two things I would look at, I'd say traffic and relevancy.
Say that you were a brand and you had 10K to spend, how would you allocate that?
As a new brand coming into the space, initially I would go after
Hi, welcome to the first Big Pond Digital podcast. We are a SEO agency based in Scotland and we've got a global client base, and we're going to start this podcast to tell you all about our experiences in the space. I'm Dylan, I'm a SEO manager at Big Pond Digital since 2020, and today I'm speaking with Ari, who's the founder of the company. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Ari. I'm the founder of Big Pond Digital. I've been involved in SEO since 2008, so quite a long time, and have been running Big Pond since 2018.
Nice one. For anyone that doesn't know, what makes iGaming SEO different from traditional SEO in your opinion?
So iGaming simply is super competitive compared to other industries. I mean, you do get a lot of industries that fall into a certain group that, you could talk pharma, adult, gambling, finance, all the grey areas that actually are super competitive. So that's, and obviously the SEO tactics are slightly different from other industries. So yeah.
Different is a word doing a lot of carrying.
Yeah, absolutely.
How did Big Pond start in the iGaming space, gambling brands?
So yeah, it was a bit of Big Pond was formed, I'd say, probably by accident. Like it never was my intention to actually run an agency, but I started out as an affiliate. So I used to run an affiliate website that did really well. Off the back of that, I built a few more affiliate websites, and I was going to conferences, meeting people, and I got a few of them asking if I could do the SEO for them. And started off with one, then got another one, and then just naturally evolved into what it is today. I had to hire staff, do all the boring business stuff that nobody wants to do. But yeah, here we are.
Yeah.
A few years on and still going strong and growing.
It's a great situation to be in. What do you think, through your experience, are like the biggest misconceptions about people think about SEO in the gambling industry? What they think about it?
I think a lot of them are afraid of it. Like when I started out in SEO, I was working in the fashion industry and I basically lost my job and I was unemployed, and applied for this job in the gambling space, mainly because I wanted a challenge. I wanted to learn more about the space, and I did want to challenge my skills and grow. I think a lot of people don't touch it because they think there's dodgy tactics going on, and obviously there's a lot of that going on, but you do actually learn a lot too. So the gambling space in general, they're innovators. So the tactics that we are using today are going to get passed on to other industries like a few years, maybe like a year down the line. So we innovate quite a lot in this industry. So that's why I'm quite passionate about it. I never really had necessarily like an interest in actual gambling or anything that, but love the industry just because I've been involved for so long and because it's competitive and cutting edge and innovative.
Ahead of the curve, challenging, everything like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You've obviously seen it progress throughout time since you started in the space, but I just wanted to get your kind of overview of what the actual SERP looks like for a casino or a sportsbook in 2025.
Yeah, the search results are quite mixed. There's a lot going on and there's a lot been going on for the past few years. So you have AI overviews, obviously taking over and taking quite a big chunk of the SERP real estate.
Yeah.
PPC ads, I mean, yesterday I was looking at my phone and the ads, I couldn't, it was difficult for me to actually distinguish between the actual ads and the organic results.
Literally, yeah.
Because it's got like, for me, it's got that call to action where you can actually hide them. So it looks like an organic result.
Yeah.
But that's obviously changing all the time. So there's a lot less space for you to compete in compared to like years ago when a lot of people used to actually search on desktop and laptops. Now it's mobile devices, it's ads. You need to scroll past that, scroll past the AI overviews, which a lot of them are useless.
Yeah.
Then find the organic result and click on that.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more competitive.
It's a lot more noisy.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot harder to break through. Are operators, do you think, at a natural disadvantage? And why? Do you think so?
I think anybody entering the gambling space just now trying to compete online is at a natural disadvantage, especially with a new domain, like fresh brand and everything.
Yeah.
Unless you have super deep pockets, but even with that, you're not going to compete straight away. It's going to take a while to actually, you're playing catch up essentially.
Yeah.
So it is competitive, but there's still countries and maybe sub industries, like as in like if you go maybe a little bit more niche and you crypto and it's something more specific, then you can actually, you can actually grow faster as opposed to going for, I want to rank for online casino, I want to rank for like sports betting or something really competitive in the UK.
Yeah.
That's, I've had conversations like that in the last year where brands have come to us with, this is what we want to do. And our answer is, well, you're going to need 400 grand, 400 grand and come back to me in 2 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You mentioned the UK there. It's obviously different in every country, but how do the regulations, compliance, KYC impact your strategy of an SEO?
Basically, UK is shit at the moment when it comes to that. Like, it's super, super strict and, there's not a lot that you can actually do, and it's also really competitive. So, if you're a brand and an existing brand and have like a profile, it's different. But you're still limited in even with bets and obviously it's a good thing at the same time too, because you're,
of course.
there's
well-being.
Exactly. But also the UK being the UK, it's actually super restrictive.
Yeah.
For other countries, obviously, there's different laws and rules that apply. But yeah, before you actually get into it and pick a country that you actually want to focus on, obviously, all of that stuff needs to be. Yeah. You need to be researching everything.
Of course. You were talking earlier about broader terms that are obviously less niche, and you could even call them monster keywords. They're like really high volume, high intent. What would you say actually goes into achieving ranking for these types of things? Yeah,
a lot of patience.
Yeah.
I'd say number one. Putting SEO aside, good SEO aside, it's like a lot of patience and working with maybe an internal team that supports you. Because essentially we're an agency, we get hired to actually support internal teams to get those results.
Yeah.
So you need CMOs that actually understand the industry and understand how long SEO takes and the investment that it requires. And then, good communication between the agency and the in-house SEOs, I think that works quite well.
Yeah.
And really good SEO, obviously, you know, you want to have your technical content and links all working together really nicely. And then obviously UX and things like that come into play too, because that plays a massive role in what the other channels are doing, virality, like getting traffic from other channels, the conversion rates, all those things, you know,
all feeds into
well together. Yeah.
Absolutely. And how much of it do you think is links versus on-page optimizations?
So yeah, links is a huge part of what we do in iGaming, in SEO in general, but iGaming specifically, just because of the nature of the industry and how competitive it is. You can get your content and tech SEO out of the way and write, and what's left after that, it's links. You know, you need a good profile, and not even that, you need to be, it gets quite competitive when you start to even approach page one for a keyword like that, let alone hit page one. There's tier 2 links, there's refreshing old links, there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, links are a massive thing.
Massive part.
Yeah, absolutely. What are the sort of brutal realities that people maybe don't want to hear about when you're trying to convince them that like SEO is for them in iGaming?
It's a tough sell, because essentially if you go into somebody like a new brand, it's difficult to sell SEO, because essentially saying to them, give us a bunch of money, it's going to take 2 years or a year and a half before you actually see any real traction. You might see something before then, but nothing amazing. So it's a difficult sell. So I think, you know, for a new brand, obviously they start off with affiliates, but you want to sort of ease them in, but be honest and realistic from day one.
Absolutely. And I was about to say after that, like, how long, in your opinion, does it really take to rank in iGaming?
It depends.
Yeah, it depends. The universal SEO term.
It comes down to the country, I guess, the competition. So for a country like the UK, a very long time, I'd say.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a new brand, a very long time in deep pockets. If it's a different country, like in sort of up and coming, where, you know, gambling's sort of up and coming, it could be a year, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, but it takes time, essentially.
Absolutely. And you mentioned links before. What does the link profile of a top iGaming site that are killing it, what does it look like?
So usually it's a blend of different publications. So one of the things that you need as a brand these days, or even as an affiliate, you need to be seen as a brand.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, you need to tick certain boxes and have a profile on certain websites. So that could be all the social media sites, your bookmarks, you know, review sites, citations, mentions in newspapers. So you want the sort of like bigger publications, social profiles. Then even things like, you know, Reddit mentions and forum links and things like that. And then obviously you want the super relevant, you know, high trust flow, whatever, good topical links coming into play there too. So I'd say a big brand that's actually ranking really well has a combination of all those links and has overall like a good digital footprint. Yeah. Not just with the links that we build typically on a day-to-day basis, but like social profiles. Yeah. You know, you tick certain boxes that any sort of big brand would tick.
They need to have ones that will move the needle basically, rather than low quality ones. It makes a lot of sense. Why is it so expensive, do you think, in this niche specifically to build links? I
mean, it's expensive everywhere, but this niche specifically is super expensive. Yeah. And it's because normal publications don't tend to link to iGaming sites. A lot of them actually do now. I'd say like 10, 15 years ago was a lot worse. Yeah. So naturally you need to approach like relevant websites. And because of the nature of the industry, there's been a lot of websites that have actually popped up for that reason too.
Yeah.
Like as in to link to other operators, and
that's their reason for existing, basically.
Yeah. And because it's super competitive, webmasters know how much these things actually cost and how many FTDs you're going to bring in as a casino. They know it's very lucrative. So they bump up the price, and like our job as an agency with an outreach team is to negotiate that down as much as possible.
Yeah, 100%. And I think what we find a lot is that a lot of people won't budge. They'll just have an actual policy where if you're going to negotiate, we're not even replying, because they must just get a crazy amount of spam constantly doing that.
I think there's that too, and also they can, because there's
exactly, they're going to get the customer.
They're going to get the customer. There's so many options out there. I remember in Finland, we had to get Finnish links, and it was very niche and super, super expensive. It was like 3 or 4 times the price of a normal link, and you couldn't really budge. You could try and negotiate it a wee bit, but
they know their worth.
They know their worth, and there's not that many out there. So
literally, supply and demand.
Pay the money,
basically. Yeah. And you almost sacrifice in other areas maybe where you've got a lower trust flow than one that's like maybe even cheaper, but because of the scarcity of it, they'll charge you more. So
you work it that way. If you're in a market like that, you can maybe go after some cheaper.coms to actually bulk out the profile, and then for a deeper page, you can go for a really specific, country level TLD that's expensive, but will move the needle.
I mean, building off of that, what in your opinion are the criteria that like separates a high quality link from a useless one that you wouldn't want to spend money on?
Yeah, like a lot of SEOs go after metrics blindly, and you need to remember that the metrics that you actually use are from a third party software tool. We use them obviously, but the first 2 things I would look at, I'd say traffic and relevancy. So does the website that you want to buy a link from does it have any traffic? Yeah. Is it relevant? Is the placement gonna fit in? Is the website relevant to your brand? I think those are the things that you want to look at initially. Yeah. And you're off to a great start. And then after that, you can look at trust flow. Topical trust flow is a big one that I've always used, and it moves the needle. There's a pretty big list, obviously, that
you've got a whole guide behind it.
Yeah, if you're buying links at scale and you're spending a lot for your clients, then you can have like a process. Yeah, you can go through a checklist of.
One thing as well about the traffic that you mentioned, we can use tools to assess whether a site's like dead or not, and you can clearly see where traffic's being pumped in artificially and then crashing, and it forms this like zigzag. And that's an example of like metrics can be fudged or more cosmetic. So you really need to deep dive and make sure it's genuine.
Yeah. And I think I've been doing this for a long time, and you've been, I don't know, it was 6 years in links pretty
5,
much.
6, yeah.
You can really, when you get sent a website, you can tell if it's like from a farm or...
I know. They cover like everything under the sun, like Jen Ortega's net worth, as well as like what your grand should do to take vitamins
as
every
well as
day.
Like the newest slots for December 2025.
Like, the more broad it is, the less topical and relevant it is.
You can tell straight away. But I'd say those are start off with the traffic and relevancy, and then have a short checklist.
It's a sniff test. You like look at it and be like, does this pass?
Sniff exactly.
Test. Have you ever seen a site tank because of bad links?
Yeah, my site tanked because of bad links. So this was in 2012. I'll paint the picture. I was at a conference negotiating deals with an affiliate manager. This affiliate manager was actually bragging about a big deal that he just did with somebody else. So we're outside discussing that. And he said to me that they track my rankings every hour. Now, at this stage, I hadn't checked my rankings for the day because I was out in the pub the previous night. And he said to me while I was chatting to him that my site has gone from page 1 to nowhere to be seen. So I basically said that this must be a mistake, trying to negotiate a deal. Anyway, we negotiated the deal, and then I went back to the hotel, checked the rankings, and I was nowhere to be seen. And a day later, I managed to actually get the site back. But this is was around about 2012, 2013 when Google launched a massive update. I think it was the first Penguin update. And that put a lot of businesses out of business.
Yeah.
And one of the websites that I had completely tanked, but it was pretty much black hat links. You know, it was very sort of like hardly any budget on the links, a bit of content, and an exact match domain, and I managed to actually rank it. And I was doing really well for like a year pretty much until it tanked. And it was my site, and there was probably another 50 sites that looked pretty much identical.
Oh, okay.
That tanked, and yeah, a lot of sites went out of business after
A bad day.
A bad day, yeah.
That sounds dramatic, to say the least.
Yeah, but you actually took a lot away from that too, because that's when I actually learned how to, you know,
quality v quantity.
exactly
like
look at things into building something more sustainable. It's not just gonna basically rank and tank.
Yeah, 100%. You always need to learn from the situation. We've already talked, of course, about how expensive links can be in this niche. And say that you were a brand and you had 10K to spend, how would you allocate that when it comes to links? Okay,
good question. As a new brand coming into the space, initially I would go after all the free links that you can get. So that's all your social websites, all your social bookmarks, the Web 2.0s, all the different sort of like citation profiles, basically any free link you can actually get.
Yeah.
And any mention on a social network site, all of those links, you'd obviously take them off first. And then when it comes to 10K, you probably need to build a lot of links to the homepage before you go any deeper, like as in deeper pages. You want to build up that authority for the homepage. I'd say at least for the first 6 to 8 months, and then you can actually start diversifying into like other deeper pages. Yeah. And obviously we've talked a lot about links and content so far, but the technical side is quite high stakes for a lot of sites. Technical issues can crash entire brands, similarly to what you said about the links. What technical issues do you see most often in iGaming sites? So the biggest one for me, and I keep seeing it, is migrations gone wrong. Yeah. So when brands re-platform and go from one platform to another, you can actually see a lot of things going wrong if you don't have a right plan in place when it comes to, you know, managing SEO and everything else. Because obviously there's a lot of things that come into play when you re-platform. If SEO is, you know, a major traffic driver for you, you need to have a migration plan in place. And that's where I see most mistakes. Yeah. How does the structure behind the website impact rankings for the sort of really competitive terms that we spoke about before? Yeah, massively. Yeah. I mean, anything from domain strategy, as in picking the right domain, to actually structuring the site with the right architecture. Yeah. Plays a massive role in especially in the beginning when you're building your brand and, you know, you're at the stage where you're actually building your website. You want to have these things in place, and especially if you're going after, like, for example, a few markets, you want your international SEO ticked off too. So we want to have your folders in place. So yeah, it's things that you want to be planning from day one. Yeah. Usually what brands do is they launch and then they actually go back, take things apart and plan that in again. Yeah, yeah. So it's good to have like a day one strategy. It is. Ideally, if you can plan in advance and involve your SEO team from the get-go. Yeah. It saves you a lot of time down the line when you need to go to your platform provider, create tickets. You know, those tickets might actually take 6 months to get actioned and a lot more money. Bandwidth in the team. Whereas you could have that in place from the get-go. And it could also, if you got these things down, say, for example, in a spreadsheet, it can help inform your decision when it comes to picking the right platform provider. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, one thing that I've learned from a client that we work with is the importance of having the structure in place and being really intentional about it and not disturbing it without involving everyone in the decision. Because you can change a URL and then that impacts all the links that you've built to that page. It can impact all the internal links, and just mess everything up basically after loads of hard groundwork being put in.
Exactly. It's almost like if you have like a web that has all these different departments,
and you just
you go and chop something off, and then it affects everything else. So it's like a chain reaction. So I think having a good structure and having that maybe even mapped out in a sheet where you know where everything goes, and having obviously like tools that check all these things, I think is a good way to mitigate risk.
Absolutely. And there's also really specific technical things like schema, page speed, core web vitals. And do you still see the value and the importance of them for iGaming specifically?
100%. I think if you're spending a lot of money and have a big budget when it comes to marketing, and you're driving all these people to your website, you want to make sure, I mean, you mentioned obviously core web vitals, you want to make sure that your website is actually loading fast. You want to make sure that UX is good, that it's easy for them to actually go onto the website and convert. Things like schema obviously help with search in general, and help with all the other engines too that are coming out just now. But the more you focus on these things, the better.
And you see a lot of it, I think, clickstream data is mentioned a lot, so it's like a self-perpetuating thing where if any of those things are bad, then it'll get less clicks and then the rankings will be impacted, and it's like a sort of cycle that comes into place. Yeah,
absolutely. And traffic from other sources is a factor now. So if you can actually get something to go viral, or viral within the industry, doesn't have to be, hundreds of thousands of hits, but within that industry, and then it tends to do better when it comes to rankings, and search engines will prefer to actually show it. And so that is something that we need to be focusing on. Whereas it wasn't really something we'd focus on in the past, like it wasn't a priority. Now it is.
It's also a positive thing though, because if you nail all that, then you're standing in good stead.
Absolutely.
You could see it as like a positive as well.
Another tick.
If you're like a digital native, then you could just be happy to be posting on all these platforms, and it's maybe not a chore as much as someone relearning it all and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point.
Trying to be positive. Basically, we're going to chat about some case studies without naming names. Some stories. Can you walk us through an example of a site that you turned around? Like, what was the problem? What did you do to resolve it?
I've got quite a lot of examples. One of them was a migration that went wrong, and they came to us after the migration. I think it was like months after that, and we had to basically do like a full technical audit, content, links, basically look into everything to see what went wrong, and it was all pointing to the week of the migration. So that was quite a big client. They had like a pretty huge budget when it comes to backlinks. And I guess, if you look at technical SEO, you look at content, you look at links, and you've got that historic data, you're able to actually pinpoint what went wrong. And in this occasion was, several pages that they had that were ranking for really, really high-end core terms, had a lot of content removed.
Okay.
So that's actually a big one too. You can migrate and have everything right, but if you remove content or change things, it could have a pretty big impact. And obviously other issues, but that was like the gist of it. Like it was basically content removed when the new site went live.
You don't want to rock the boat too much when...
You don't want to, and you want to... Obviously, if you're migrating or replatforming, you want to pay close attention to all these things. You want to have... you want to know where you're at before the migration, and you want to have everything tracked and mapped out. and you want to see the after picture, post-migration, and you want to compare the two and make sure you haven't missed anything. Because in this case, it was missed and it was 6 months down the line.
But then you were able to see it, obviously, by
We were able
looking
to take
back on
that,
it.
see it, and bring it back, and it was actually pretty quick to actually recover it. You know, within 3 weeks, you'd recover those positions.
Excellent. It is interesting. What's the hardest iGaming challenge that you've worked on?
I'd say pretty much what we're working on at the moment. We've got a few clients. It's always challenging, you know, if you're aiming to rank for keywords like online casino or the really high-end betting ones. It's, as I said, constant war against everybody.
Yeah.
So one day you're on page 1, maybe at the bottom, and you're trying to get a little bit higher, and then the next day, you know, you're kicked off because, you know, it could be like other brands or other affiliates or 3 black hat sites pushing to get your position. So it's always challenging, and you're always on the go. You always have to like think of ways of outsmarting them and basically defending your position and pushing your website higher.
Yeah. I think what's not funny, but when we have these client meetings, we always joke about the budget that these big brands have, and that it's versus like me and Alan and like the office in Scotland, and they're wondering who are their SEO team. Yeah. And you've all got eyes on each other on page 1 because you're just all competing for those spots. Absolutely.
The funny thing though is that the SEO budget is nothing compared to like PPC budgets. Yeah. In most cases, it's like 1/10.
Yeah.
So
like millions.
Exactly.
Compared to link spend a month or whatever.
Yeah. It's pocket changing.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Yeah.
What is one result, maybe a different story then, that you're super proud of when it comes to recovering it? And
when it comes to recovering a website?
Yeah, so like iGaming SEO went wrong and you're like, that was a challenge, but I've done a good job there.
I mean, I've done that and we have done that in multiple industries, I'd say, like not just iGaming, but I think it's good when you get a website from, you know, being like completely deranked and, you know, maybe being neglected when it comes to SEO, to actually doing really well.
Yeah.
And we've done that multiple times. There was this one that comes to mind, which was actually a travel website, which was actually quite competitive. And again, with that one we had to do a content audit to like establish what went wrong. And again, with this one, it was like a replatforming issue, but then it got taken on by somebody else, and they basically neglected all the pages that were driving most of the ranking. So, you know, when you actually find that, it's like a huge win because you bring that back, and within 2 or 3 months, you're back at the same level and growing. Yeah. So that was like a good example of a good recovery.
And it might be pages that the client, they're not their like favorite pages, and then but they haven't looked at the data and saw like the amount of visibility and traffic they're getting for those ones, and losing them can ruin everything.
Yeah, exactly, because clients might be looking at things like, you know, the overall look of the website, and the look of a page, and you know, the functionality of something, but we look at data. Basically, is this ranking? Is this making money? Why has this been neglected, or why has it been deleted when it was driving the right traffic?
Yeah, know? Exactly. Like high intent and
exactly.
Yeah. So we're going to give some advice for operators and affiliates, some actionable value bomb answers. If you were to start a brand new casino brand today, what would your SEO roadmap look like?
Brand new casino, I'd start with, obviously you've got your domain strategy. You want to register as many close variations as possible. I mean, you don't have to go completely crazy, but you want to go after all the different country TLDs as a first step. Then you want to speak with an SEO, consult with somebody to outline your strategy, because that's going to inform your decision when it comes to actually picking a platform provider. Okay, so then once you actually go and speak to 10 different companies when it comes to like a platform, you've got all these boxes that you need to tick. And that's what every department, like SEO is one of them. It's quite an important one.
Yeah.
So that's number 2. And then obviously when you launch, as I said initially, you want to obviously focus maybe on things that are going to bring in the money in the short term, like affiliate marketing. But you want to be building your SEO in the background too. So things like brand protection. You want to be optimizing the website and all the different pages on it for key brand terms that are going to grow with time, and affiliates are going to go after them. And so you want to protect that. And then you want to start building your link profile. Little by little, you can reinvest affiliate marketing profits back into the SEO channel, build up that link profile, and then start going after non-brand SEO.
Yeah.
And looking at content, looking at a proper full link building campaign. But yeah, essentially, if you can get some of your technical SEO right from the get-go, when you pick a platform, you can pick one that maybe ticks most of the boxes. That will solve a lot of issues, in the long term.
Yeah.
In year 2, when you're actually going after SEO full on and you have all these technical problems that you need to solve. If you get them in advance, you're set up much better for the long term.
Yeah. Maybe like do your due diligence for platforms to see which ones have got like the best built-in SEO stuff, because you don't want to go with a provider and then end up they have to be fixing things along the way for you, and there's not like a built-in SEO kind of consideration.
Exactly. And one tip would be, don't just speak to the salespeople from the platform. Because a lot of them will actually say yes to everything. We do absolutely everything. And when you actually sign up to them, they don't, so you want to make sure that you have like maybe a spreadsheet and a checklist, and you get to speak to maybe more senior people, because it's quite a big decision, and there's obviously quite a lot of budget involved.
And ask around as well, like people that in the industry, like
look at the brands that they have.
Yeah. Good, very good advice. If you were starting a brand new affiliate site today, what would you focus on first?
Okay, so different strategy. You've got a lot more flexibility as an affiliate, because you don't, when it comes to platforms, there's, you'll pick a CMS essentially, and you're good to go. And you've got a lot more flexibility when it comes to content. And your position is also different. You can position yourself as a portal that actually reviews websites. So you can go heavy on content. What I would do if I was an affiliate now, I'd probably try and buy a domain that has an existing backlink profile that's relevant.
Okay.
So maybe buy a business that was maybe an affiliate, but didn't quite get to the point where they're actually doing extremely well, but it buys you some time when it comes to, building links. So you've got like an initial.
From scratch kind of thing.
You're not starting from scratch. So you can actually do that, get your technical SEO right, plan your content. I'm not a big fan of actually, AI content at scale and that type of thing. So any examples that I've seen, they work for a while and then the site tanks.
Yeah.
So I would focus on actually getting really good content. You can use AI to actually do the guidelines and automate other parts, but create really good content and try and find a niche. Because again, it's a very crowded space. It's very competitive. You either want to go for up and coming countries and regions, and find a niche, or both, to be successful. And then obviously you need links.
Yeah.
All affiliates. We have clients as affiliates that are pretty big on the spending on links. So you need a pretty good budget when it comes to link building.
Absolutely. What are some examples, do you think, of countries that are more up and coming that you would suggest maybe looking at?
Latin. South Africa is a good one. to actually get into. I'd say Canada is a good one, but like Canada can be it's still quite competitive. I would, what you can do is like look at a keyword research tool and, you know, start looking at volumes, start looking at different countries and doing some analysis and like basically finding out where the sweet spot is.
Yeah.
Finland was another one that actually did quite well. But like, again, with that one, there's things going on with the law there. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah.
But it seemed to be a good market for operators, especially that one. And for affiliates, what I'd also like to add is, again, the tip that I gave about operators, about having profiles on all these different websites and ticking certain boxes when it comes to having visibility on social media websites, review sites. You want to do the same thing as an affiliate. So you want to be seen as a brand. You want to have profiles on all the social platforms, review sites. You want to tick all these boxes and have like a sort of like wider digital footprint.
Yeah, I think it's important, not even just for iGaming, but for all clients, like to persuade them the importance of that.
Yeah.
Because they might say, I've got a LinkedIn, I post on it sometimes, but even if you don't prolifically post on every social media channel, having the profile in place is so important, because if you think about it from your own perspective, like you're going online and you maybe Google a brand and there's nothing anywhere about it, then you're not going to trust it. It's just a trust thing, not even just from Google trusting it, but like users as well.
Absolutely. You want to cover, you know, at least if you can't do initially, you can actually cover all the basic platforms, like all the social profiles, any relevant review sites. If you can actually go after, you know, citations and those type of websites.
Local things, stuff that's really location relevant.
Yeah, anything like that really helps.
Absolutely. What would you persuade a casino brand to stop doing? What the brands need to stop doing in SEO?
In SEO?
Yeah.
Okay, good question.
Maybe mistakes we're making, or...
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of them actually doing content like at scale.
Yeah.
And then it works for a few months and then websites actually tank. So I'd pretty much stop doing that. I mean, I know it's so easy to actually do, but like it's not going to do you any favors in the long term.
Sustainable, it's not sustainable.
Content and really, really bad quality links. I can see that too. You know, cheap sort of like network links.
Quantity over quality.
Don't really do anything.
Yeah.
And when it comes to technical SEO, I can see loads there, but I think it's mainly brands that don't really have SEO at the forefront when it comes to a service. You know, it's kind of maybe neglected.
It's kind of similar to what we've talked about already, but what's something that affiliates should do immediately? Affiliate sites when they're new.
So brand new affiliate.
Yeah.
So one thing that I would do is, if you've set up a website, you've got your first bits of content out and you've launched, I would actually sign up to as many affiliate programs as possible. Because what I used to do is I used to get a free link from the affiliate network page.
Right, okay.
So you'd have, it could be like Casino Partners or whatever the website's called. But they usually have quite good authority and you get a free link. So it's like free link building for you.
Yeah.
So even if you don't really promote the brands, you know, prominently on your homepage table, you can actually still promote them, you know, through a review or something and get a link back to your website. So that's a good tip. A good one. Yeah.
That is a really good tip. That's pretty much all the main questions. So where can people reach you?
They can reach me on here, basically. So they can actually message the podcast, or they can find me on Facebook, Instagram. They can email us at hello@bigponddigital.co.uk, or send us a message through the contact form.
And we'd love to hear if there's any topics that people want us to cover in future episodes and what,
Yeah, obviously this is the first episode, so we're trying to get into the whole experience. But yeah, I think the next ones will flow maybe a bit better. Yeah. And if you get some traction, we can, get some requests. We can guests and questions, and we can cover more things.
Mm-hmm.